time to travel back to BLOCKCON. Join me for this amazing series where we get to talk to blockheads who attended the first ever BLOCKCON convention in Chicago, Illinois. Welcome to Dope Nostalgia. We're a podcast that's all about the 90s and the things that happened then, but we also are very new kid centric. Obviously, I'm a huge fan, as you are both. And yes. Kevin introduced me to you guys by saying, "Hey, you got to meet the OG Cruisers crew and have them on the show." And I said, "I'd love to meet them." So thank you.
Thank you. I love Kevin. He's one of my best buddies. Yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah.
Plus, like, this is our BLOCKCON series. So although we're going to be talking about your experiences at BLOCKCON, I also wanted to start by asking you questions you've probably answered a million times. First of all, but being on the original New Kids on the Block cruise back in what year was it?
1990.
1990.
Yeah. There are people out there that don't even know that happened.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. People still say, what? There was a cruise? And people that were even fans didn't even know, because it was just for United States, we found out. And so like some of the Canadian fans knew nothing of it, you know.
Yeah, so, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably didn't get it in our media that it was even happening unless we had cable TV. Maybe there were TV commercials. I have no idea.
Yeah, there was Coca-Cola commercials, but it didn't like necessarily say the grand prize was the cruise. Like, and then they had it in the store where you could like register, but that's what it was, and it was the cruise. But you also could buy it. Like, it was so different than a New Kids cruise now. Like it was kind of like a cruise, and the New Kids were there, so there were like tons of people that were not even New Kids fans that just ended up on the boats.
Oh, so, that's interesting, isn't it?
Because it was half Disney, right?
Yeah, it was half Disney.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
okay.
Could you imagine being like on your honeymoon and like the New Kids are on the cruise in the 90s? Like, no, I would have been like hysterical. So
if half the people aren't even interested in New Kids, it's like, no way.
Yeah.
But I heard there were two ships.
Two ships. Yes.
Now, how did the guys move back and forth between the two ships?
Well, we were on the Oceanic, Christine and I, and like, the crazy thing is like Christine and I actually met in the line to meet them. And we had not heard from each other since then until we had done Mel's show. So we met back up, but there were two ships that we were told they were going to go down on our ship and back on the other. But that was just a rumor. Like, really thinking about it from a security standpoint, why would they switch ships? You know,
right.
But we don't really, you know, I asked Donnie, he doesn't really know what the plan was. They don't seem to know if there was ever a plan to switch ships. So it may have just been a rumor.
Well, I've always been interested because the only thing I ever really knew is that Jordan got out of there.
Yeah.
Were you guys aware of that even happening? Yeah.
Because
we were aware that it happened. We just weren't sure like where exactly it was. There was like 3 different theories of where he disappeared to.
Yeah. There was like, someone had said like he helicoptered out of there. You know, we don't know how he left. He was gone. Like they had a concert in between the two ships. And the next day when we set sail, he was gone off the ship. So we don't know how he left. But I personally think he went to a fight in Vegas. But that's a question we have for him when we're on the boat. Like, we want to know, like, where did he go? Because there's someplace in Florida, you know. So we don't really know where it is. So it's kind of like the disappearing night cruise. We just don't know.
That's what it's called now. That's the one thing that we knew. And they talked about it on the last cruise at the concert about the time Jordan just, okay, see ya.
Yeah. Like, but we do know that he showed back up like in Orlando because for the winners, they actually got to go to Disney after the cruise. And the New Kids had obligations. So he did show up because he is in the Disney pictures like after the cruise. So he went somewhere just for a few days.
Well, apparently he finally got his sea legs because he's been doing it every year since, which is nice.
Yep.
Yeah. And good
Yes.
thing Donnie did too, because Donnie was like super sick. That's why like he's in none of our pictures.
Oh,
Like, yeah, he was like behind the curtain, like getting really, really sick. Like I think he's in Amanda's picture, but he's
yeah.
not in and no one else's. Yeah.
Oh, well, he's always pretty much armed up and ready to go now. You always see him with the patches and everything. So I think.
Yeah, I think that cruise woke him up.
And it was pretty rough, in all fairness, because it went out of Cocoa Beach, and it was a pretty rough night. Like there was definitely a tropical storm going on. So, in all fairness, it was
rough.
And that was obviously probably your first cruising experiences ever.
Not for me, because I lived in Cocoa Beach. Yeah, I lived in Cocoa Beach.
Oh, okay.
So, like, we could probably have gone like every summer. We would go on one because it was all inclusive. And cruises were fairly cheap, in the 90s.
Yeah.
When you're comparing to like flights and hotel stays and food, and we lived right there. So.
Oh, that's so perfect. Like, amazing. And what about you, Christine? Was it your first cruise?
It wasn't. The funny story was I was actually on the same Disney cruise 6 months prior to this one because I had a younger brother at the time, and we did the Disney cruise. And then when they announced this, I tried so hard to win it, but it didn't work out. So I begged, pleaded, cried, and sold my soul to my parents, and we had to pay to get on. But we were on the same exact cruise 6 months prior.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you ladies are coming this year on the cruise.
Yes,
we are. Yeah,
Good.
we're actually we're working on actually having a little bit of a nostalgia if we're gonna make a display of all the OG stuff. It's a little project we're working on. So
okay, good. That's exciting. I'll be there. I'll get to meet you guys. I'm excited.
Excellent. That's awesome.
Yes. Now, talking about BLOCKCON, which was the first for all of us, obviously. First of all, Chicago. Had you been to Chicago before?
Never.
No. Never.
Mm-hmm.
Were you able to get some time to see the city a bit?
No, I wish I did. Amanda did, but we didn't. And I went over to Wahlburgers. That was the only place I had ventured to. But I really wish I had taken in some of the other places, got like a real pizza and a real dog,
yeah. Yeah. First, so that would have been also your first time at the Wahlburgers Clubhouse as well. How was that experience for you guys? Did you go on the Thursday?
I didn't. I didn't make it there.
No?
Yeah, she did. I made it there on Sunday after con. And I have been to several Wahlburgers. I've done Wahlburgers openings. Hands down, St. Charles is the best Wahlburgers ever. The food, the service. The food is amazing. The inside, it's just remarkable. And I'm not, I don't know if it's because he owns it, he's right there, but it's on point. And,
when your boss is in the city, might make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. He's in there tasting the food too. Like, this ain't right,
Yeah, so. I agree with you. I've been to Palo Alto Wahlburgers and I've been to this one. It was such a huge difference in quality. Yeah. But that one I went to in Palo Alto has already closed down. So it was one of those franchises that just didn't make it, or they moved it possibly. I think they might have moved it. Anyway, yeah, I was so happy with the St. Charles experience as well.
Yeah. Those fried pickles are, oh my gosh, I don't even know what they do there.
Yeah, no, it was unbelievably great. And we got to go on the Thursday and meet some of the fans in line and talk to them, hand out swag, things like that. It was fun.
Right. That's cool.
Did you
cool.
Go ahead.
We had some friends that were there. So we were like living vicariously through them because we hadn't made it into town yet.
Did you make it that evening kind of thing?
Yeah. Late that night.
Yeah. Which hotels were you staying at?
Crown Plaza.
Crown? Yeah. Yeah, me too. Me too. And
So you
the
were there
setup.
the night that Donnie came for the selfies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the only time I got to really see him
Hmm.
do the whole thing, and Danny as well. Um, but we had gone to dinner at Wahlburgers the night before because we wanted to actually enjoy a dinner and check the place out because we knew it'd be
Right.
absolute chaos the next day. So
Hmm.
that was, we're glad we made that decision. So we really got to see everything, taste the food. You were right. The service was incredible.
Yeah.
It was really something.
Yeah.
Now, did you go to prom too?
Prom?
Did you make it to prom?
Hell yeah, I did.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then,
Okay.
but my heels were off within 30 minutes of walking through that door.
Hmm.
I couldn't do the heels anymore. What did you
I
guys
didn't
do
even
for
wear
prom?
heels. I didn't even wear heels. Like well, the funny thing is, like before prom even happened, like we get all dressed, and my husband and I went to Christine's room, and by the time I get there, like my dress has this like big rip down the side, and like I have no idea why. It's a brand, So like we're stitching me into my dress, like so we could go to prom. And it was cool. Like we went live from prom with Dad Wood, so that was kind of cool.
Very cool.
Um, yeah. And we kind of stayed to like towards the back at the beginning, and then at the end, like my husband loved it. He went straight up into the crowd, like he was
Hmm.
so excited. Like
Oh,
it was his
nice.
first like ever experience concert, and now he's like a blockhead all the way. So you would never think that of my husband,
Oh,
but now he's like, yeah, yeah.
that's fantastic. Yeah. What about you, Christine?
Dad Wood was my prom date.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, he
Mm,
was my prom date. We spoke prior. We matched. We were both wearing blue. So that
yeah.
was a cool. That's why he was live with us. So that was cool. That was an interesting experience.
Wow. Very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, he's the
Very cool.
best.
um, I'm just looking over my questions here. The concert the first night. Wow. Like obviously every blockhead was really impressed with the set list. Magical moments for both of you. What were they?
When Donnie sang "Stay with Me, Baby," I love that. That just brought me back to 1990. Being a teenager
Mm.
and looking over at my husband when they did 2 in the morning, and he was singing the words.
Oh.
Like that was amazing. Like he was there, he was feeling it, and like people don't get it until you get it, and once you get it you understand. And
Hmm.
I don't know if it's that way with all different bands and stuff. I don't know, I've only ever been a New Kids fan. So I
Mm.
don't know if other groups have it, but I hope they do.
Yeah, because what we have with them is very special, and
It's
you would
very
hope those
special.
fan. I think this is a very rare fandom.
I do.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
believe it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What about you, Christine?
I mean, the set list was we were blown away by it. I had
Mhm.
went with a friend of mine who's only been to one New Kids concert, and she was like, "I'm doing this every time now." She's addicted. She's like, "Next time they go on sale, we're doing bar stools," and it was great. I mean, the
Mhm.
songs that they played were from every album, and everyone in the whole everybody in the place was crazy, and everybody said that was the best concert that they've ever put on. So it's definitely a good time.
I think you're right. I think it might have been the best concert they've ever done,
Yeah.
Yeah.
at least for diehard fans.
Yes. Yes.
When it's not a mixtape tour, right? They can make those choices, which is fantastic for us.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
and it
And
seems
I
like they
think it
had fun
was,
doing it too.
yeah, and
Definitely.
I think being such a long concert for BlockCon, it really set a standard though for the next con. Like
Yes.
that
Hmm.
concert has to be longer and it has to have more, because it really does set the precedence. I mean, and I mean, I don't think there was a song they missed,
No.
that I
Hmm.
that I can name. So
Hmm.
maybe Killer. I don't think they did Killer. It's the only one.
No, no, there's a few I would have loved to hear, but that's okay. We got what we've never got before, and that was so worth it. So
Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely.
Well, who's your favorite guy?
mine's Jordan. You,
Jordan. Okay. Danny.
Danny, awesome. And Jen?
I'm a Donnie girl all the way.
Right from the beginning?
Well, sort of. He stole my heart on the 1990 cruise. So
Yeah.
I had started off as a Danny girl, but then when I had met Donnie, that it
Mhm.
changed everything, you know.
Because he's magical.
He's magical. He is. And he's very genuine, you know, and he's very humble. And he does a lot of things he doesn't have to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me kind of like, you know, I mean, it was for a lot of people. And I appreciate that about him because he doesn't have to do that, you know. He doesn't.
He gives more than a lot. Like I can't even describe, none of us can describe how much he gives to us. So
Right.
it's special for sure. And
Yeah.
those doll boxes were mind-blowing. And I thought, this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
They were amazing. And I kept like, you know, kept trying to get people, because Danny's and Jordan's boxes were right across from each other. And I kept trying to get people like to yell across to each other, like, so I could videotape it, like from that song where he was like, "Yo, Jordan, what's up?" And, but no one like got it, you know. I was like, just do it, it'd be so funny. But I thought those were amazing. I hope they have them again. Maybe like bring out the concert edition so we could have like, you know, things to hold, you know.
Oh yeah,
because they had accessories. I did miss the guys being in the box, and I'm like that. I was like, oh,
yeah,
you know. But I have met them all so many times that I was okay with not doing it, because there were so many people that had never met them there, and it was amazing to see them crying like a teenager, you know, that they just met Danny or Jordan or, you know. So
yeah. No, it was, I love seeing people go through that for the first time, honestly. You know, like last year on the mixtape tour was my first meet and greet, and seeing people come out of there in tears and like shaking and stuff, you're like, oh my goodness, this is so sweet.
Yeah,
it was cool.
And that's like what we experienced at 17, you know. So but to see it now, isn't it like, I get it, you know. And I still have few people that have not met them all, you know. And I'm like, oh, I can't wait till you tell us the story, you know.
Did you get any pictures, Christine, with the doll boxes, or with
the
guys?
We got with Donnie, and I was specific. I went into Danny's box, but other than that, no. And I kind of slipped in during like one of the breaks in between the panels because there was no lines, so we went in real fast, took a picture, and we left.
Yeah, you got to do it. You got to do it, especially in your favorite guy's box for sure.
Yeah,
Jordan's box was pretty much empty except for us. So I was one of those people who lined up in the hopes that Jordan was going to show up. It was so funny because he had this big long line and he never came.
He was you know, on break.
Yeah, taking in his break.
The disappearing night, I'm telling you.
Oh, Jordan. Oh, Jordan. Being a Jordan
we
girl
got John too, right, Jen? We got pictures with John.
Yes,
Oh,
we did meet
good.
up with him outside of the hotel, which was nice. And we got to tell him how like Christine and I had met. He thought that was fascinating.
Oh, wow.
And and then Amanda was with us, and Amanda, who's one of the OGs, she was on the cruise from Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Oh yeah.
So so like we told him about that, and he was like, what? I mean, so it was really cool. And there weren't many people there, so we got to have some time with them, which was nice.
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
And I love how genuine John is and how interested he is in everyone's stories. Like he's just such a prince.
He is. He's a sweetheart.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Dope Nostalgia listeners, I love you and I thank you so much for being a part of this show and its success over the last 2 years. we have what's called Patreon for those who want to support the show financially. For as little as $1 a month, you can become a subscriber and get bonus content, early podcast release, all kinds of cool behind-the-scenes stuff, and more. There's different tiers of membership starting at only $1 a month. And we even have some special merch for you guys who are in it for the long run. So please, join our Patreon. It's at www.patreon.com/dope nostalgia.
Hi, we're the new kids on the block. Now you can hang tough with us 24 hours a day on our brand new hotline. Just pick up your phone and call us on 1-900-9095-KIDS.
You hear our most secret day-to-day thoughts. Let's check this out. We'll tell you all about our brand new talking fan club hotline.
Word.
It'll blow your mind, so call us right now.
Plus, a portion of each call helps to support United Cerebral Palsy. So remember, we'll be loving you forever.
See ya.
$2 for the first minute, 45 cents for each additional minute. Kids, get your parents' permission first.
Now, let's talk about panels. Got some favorite moments that happened in the panels?
My favorite was when they were doing the forget it moment where they blocked it out. And their reactions to things, like when they came out in the shower caps and the bathrobes.
Mm-hmm.
And like Danny's reaction when he was like, what the F? It was so like, because we were all thinking it, and for him to not remember, like for them not to remember some of this stuff, it was just hysterical. And then like Donnie not knowing the one guy got shot, like what,
I know. I was like, I know I shouldn't be laughing at someone getting shot, but this is fucking funny.
Yeah. And I thought that, they handled it so well. The interviewer she did such a great job.
Mm-hmm. Sanel and then Zach and Renee later on, like good choices. I mean, I love it.
They did an amazing job too. Like, and I remember when when she told her story of, like with the picture, I remember when Donnie tweeted that, like when they first got back together. So like, I remember all that happening. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of cool to see it circle back around that there she was interviewing them. And, I'm hoping to meet her on the boat.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And seeing a true fan getting that opportunity was great. And she was funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Those girls that we hated.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all the videos.
Yeah.
But we hated those girls. Yeah. I mean, we hated those girls.
Yeah. Of course we did. And we were kids, right? So we were just like, ugh. You're near my boys. Ugh. But yeah. I definitely enjoyed the Dodi Kahan Sony commercial. Always loved that one.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now it's stuck in my head. Sometimes that weird song, that jingle, it was something. And
then,
go ahead.
The sleeping bag. I mean,
which almost looks like it looks very much similar to your background, that sleeping bag, but it was just a tiny kid sleeping bag, and it's incredible.
Yeah. One of the girls came up to us after, and I guess Donnie was giving away the gum. Mm-hmm. And I was like, don't chew the gum. Like, I don't. I get hard and crusty.
No, you don't know how that shit aged, I'm really glad the guys didn't touch it. So from the reactions, what videos would you like to see them react to for the next BLOCKCON? Whether it be music videos or YouTube clips, whatever it may be from back in the day.
I like particular ones that we've seen.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have to say, like, really going back to like some of the stuff from when they did like the videos, like going into some of dig up some of those, some more of that, like, because that's some stuff like they like didn't even remember like what they were huffing or whatever it was, like the puffing stuff, like like way back, you know, and really dig some stuff up and like old school. Like I'd love to see something like before it, like I would love for someone to find something from like 1988, like from a
Mhm.
home video.
Yeah.
And even like the video that Christine has from the cruise, like react to some of that. Because they, when they had did the show, they had to come out in these like crazy costumes. So
Mm-hmm.
like I wonder if they even remember that, you know?
Really? And that I you must have photos and all of that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I have to check out
But
everything.
because of the two ships, like they obviously couldn't just walk out, you know,
Mhm.
because there were
Right.
thousands of people. So they
Yeah.
dressed them up in these big crazy costumes. Like I wonder if they even remember that. You
Mm-hmm.
know?
Considering their whole lives were such a whirlwind for the all those years there, 88 to probably 92, 93. Like I can't imagine. I think there's a lot of things that they probably weren't able to take in and remember.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't imagine it, you know, being
Mhm.
that young and going through everything. And that was the 90s going through it. Like I can only imagine what, you know, happens now, you know,
Mhm.
because everything's so different media wise. Like you can't, you know, before you could go to the store and maybe make it into the store and shop, but if you're super famous, like you're all over
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, Twitter, everything before you walk out the store.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's different. There's
Yeah.
no privacy
Mm-hmm.
at all.
And now it's interesting to see them react to those things that they may have forgotten,
Yeah.
Definitely.
especially if they're fresh in our minds still, you know, like certain things that have happened. Someone's mowing the lawn
Absolutely.
right now. Oh, I don't know if you can hear it. Can you hear it?
No.
Mm-mm. No.
Okay. Okay. All right, Christine, what would you like to tell us about what you'd like to see them react to?
You know, I think their original popular videos, like when they did Please Don't Go Girl, you know, in Coney Island with the rides and stuff like that. I think that would be cool to reenact the things that are still there,
Mhm.
you know, so many years later that they can still use the same like background props and stuff like that. And I'm from New York, so
Mhm.
that one works for me. I would like to see that.
I would like to see them watch Call It What You Want again and
Hmm.
Never Let You Go. Because
Oh.
I wonder
Those are good
how
ones.
I wonder how Jordan would do with that.
Those are good ones.
And if you guys
Hmm.
like watch Rat Tail, you know that there's going to
Hmm.
be they're working on it eventually. Once they hit a certain subscriber mark, they're doing the react to Never Let You
Hmm.
Go. And Chris has never seen it before.
Oh no, that's gonna be
Hmm.
amazing. I had seen that they had said something somewhere on it, and I was
Mhm.
like, all right.
Yes.
So
So I always tell people if you don't follow Rat Tail on YouTube, you must go hit that subscribe button because we want to see this.
Yeah.
yes. Grab your kids' tablets, just every
Plus we
TV.
plus we love Adrian and Chris. You know, we love
Yeah,
them.
we
So we
do.
want to support their show. So it's amazing.
Hmm.
Rat Tail's great. Um, so I'm just gonna make sure I covered everything. For each of you, what was the best part of BlockCon? Who wants to start? I'm sorry.
I'll start.
Okay.
The best part for me was honestly meeting up with Jen after 30 something years. Not like we met in the lobby of a hotel and we just started crying.
Oh
I don't know if we
wow.
cried more when we met or cried more when we left each other. And
Mhm.
you know, meeting Heather and Amanda was awesome too. But you know, me and Jen had a connection from 30 something years ago. So it was like honestly like no time went by. Like we kind of picked up where we left off and you know, we're closer now than we've ever been. So that was amazing to me, like seeing her after so many years and picking
I
up from
love
then.
that. I love
Yeah.
that. And I can't believe it's been that long since you got to see each other in person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy because like I told her, I was like, we had to have like given each other numbers or addresses and stuff because you pen paled
Yeah.
back in the day, but like, did we not pen pal? What happened? You know?
Right.
Mhm. Yep.
Yep.
Good old pen pals. Remember all that pop magazine. Oh, I don't know which magazines had the pen pals, but I'm sure we all had a few too. Yeah. What was your favorite part of BLOCKCON, Jen?
You know, it's honestly the same thing as Christine. You know, because I, for many years, have looked for other OG cruisers. And thanks to Mel having us on Blockhead U, she had me on Blockhead U, and Donnie joined, and that's what started this whole thing. And you know, to find Christine, who like I met, but I hung out with her on the cruise, and Heather, she was on the other boat, but I had met her years and years ago. And like, you know, we see pictures like that's, you know, I show a picture and Amanda's like, that's my brother, or that's my elbow, or, you know, and it's crazy because that brings me back to being such a young kid. And it makes me like so emotional to still have something that brings so much happiness to me. You know, being a fan back in the day was kind of hard. People, you know, gave you crap.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, it's worth it. I didn't care, you know, but to still have it to bring you so much happiness, and I'm 50, you know, so I know it just brings you, you know, it was pure joy. And then to, you know, have Donnie there with all four of us and to see us, and he like, you know, called us the OGs, and
Yeah.
you know, that was cool. It was amazing, and just makes it all worth it, you know.
100%. Who would have thought that this many years later the guys were still making us happy, you know, and still together doing that thing. Even them just getting back together in the first place was like, this is going to be a fun run. And I figured it wouldn't be that long, but they would have fun doing it. And then look where we are now. It's incredible. I think it's just gotten better.
It has. And we've had them longer now than the first time, you know, so, and, you know, and we can do things now. And I think it is so much different because you can do the meet and greets. They do have the after parties. You know, Joe has his shows, and they all have their own thing they do for their fans and stuff. And they, you know, I just think it's amazing because I do, like I said, I've only ever been a New Kids fan, and I don't see any other fans you know, groups doing that really to that level.
Is there anything that you guys would like to see for the next BLOCKCON? Something that would make the experience even more special?
Yeah, I would like them to make it a little more connish as far as like actually some more questions would be great. And I also think they should have opportunities that people could buy that picture that they've never had, you know? And, you know, like some cons, you buy the picture, they print it right there and they'll sign it for you, you know? And charge us for it. We got credit card, you know what I'm saying? But make it a little, because for some people, all they want is that picture with, you know, Jordan or Donnie and it's worth it. And I think it would be cool. I think that would, you know, and more food trucks.
Oh, more variety in the food trucks.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, yeah.
I mean, it was good, but yeah, a little more variety would have been cool that way. But yes, Christine.
Yeah, I have to agree. Like at the cons I've been to, you know, there was more like interactive booths and like Jen said with the photo ops, you can get pictures right then and there because like a lot of people who wanted photos with them or didn't get to meet them, like Jen said, like the first time, that was all they were like, they just wanted a selfie with them. Whereas like we kind of stepped back because we've met them so many times and we didn't push for that. We were just, you know, we saw them, we were happy to get the picture. But there was like, you know, people that really went there to get a selfie to meet them. And, you know, there wasn't that opportunity. So if something like that could be done, that would be great.
Yeah, I agree. A little more connish. That would be cool.
Yeah.
I think I also proposed the idea. I know this might be hard to vet because you don't know what you're getting, but for content creators to be able to set up their own thing to promote too would be pretty cool. But yeah, that's something like that would be hard. Although it's an idea, I think it would be really hard to control it. Because then, you know what I mean? The guys don't have complete control over what each person is doing. So, but I would love to see that happen somehow.
Maybe they could like allow, like, you know, submit to do it and you work with like make it so they work with that content creator, plan it a little bit more in advance, you know, so it isn't so So they could kind of control it a little, because I think that would be amazing. We've got some great creators out there that really could bring some good stuff. Like, yeah, let's do it.
Exactly. We do. We have a lot of that. So the ones that the guys already know about, particularly, and then because you also don't want people just applying who you've never heard of and you don't even know if they actually create anything. I can imagine that kind of situation occurring. So,
Right.
But fine-tuned, it could be fun.
Yeah. Right. I agree. Like, chair chatter would be pretty funny.
100%. I love those ladies.
They crack me up.
I want to thank you both so much, Christine and Jen, for spending this time to be on Dope Nostalgia today. And I can't wait to meet you guys in person.
I know. I can't wait to meet you either. I watch all your stuff. After you, I was like, all right, I gotta, and you've got some pretty good stuff out there. I can't wait to meet you in person. And thank you so much for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Anytime. I'd love it. Maybe you could come back on maybe after the cruise.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because we haven't even talked about it in any of these episodes yet, the confetti booth. Because I didn't sure who all went in it. So you were the first one, Jen?
Yes, because I saw them coming from across the room with it, right? And I was like, what is that? And so and then they had all this confetti at a booth, and I was like, confetti booth, go. I was like, I obviously thought Donnie was going to be in it, and they were on the walkie-talkies talking like he wanted to come and try it out. But I guess it didn't work out, so they put the robot in it first. And then I was the first actual blockhead in there.
The robot fit in that thing?
He did. He did.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. And I was the first one in it, and I thought it was super cool. But I opened my mouth, and my whole mouth was confvered with confetti, and it was. I was like, I'm glad I'm the first one. I started thinking about all the sweatiness that was about to be covered in the confetti.
We're gonna have to change the confetti every 10 minutes. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, Zoe actually had given him the idea because she had sent him this globe with confetti in it and was like, this would be something cool. And he executed it in a matter of days.
Yeah.
So I thought it was amazing.
I didn't know something like that existed.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I think of a lot of cool things, but a confetti booth, I would have never thought of that,
Yeah. So. I was like, are they giving away prizes in there? I didn't know what was happening. Are you supposed to catch it? What is the deal? Yeah. Did you try it out, Christine? Christine, did you try out the confetti booth?
No, I was videoing Jen. I wasn't going on it.
Go ahead, Jen. What were you going to say?
I was her cameraman.
She was my cameraman. And I had our OG cruiser shirt on, and it was so windy. I was trying to stretch it out. And I guess apparently the wind was blowing. They thought I was going to flash them, and they were off. So to watch the video commentary, they're like, oh, wait, no, she didn't flash us. It was so.
Just getting confetti blown up your shirt. No big deal.
It was flashing through the cruise.
All right, I better take off because I got to get ready for work. I work nights. I'm a server, so I got to go.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you
Have
again.
A good night.
Thank you.
Thank
you for having us.
Okay, we'll see you next time.
Absolutely. Have a great night.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Back to BLOCKCON. There'll be so much more content coming from some of our favorite blockheads in the New Kids universe. Remember, Dope Nostalgia is licensed by SOCAN because we believe that artists should be paid for their work. See you next time.